All right, this will be the People News one more time at it. Um, so I forgot about this, and it's been pretty recent, but I've been busy doing other things. This is criminal complaint, as you could tell in the corner there. All righty. If you want to do some other stuff on YouTube of his, he's actually got some interesting things. There's just so much there. I'm not going to be able to do a copy of whatever he's done, but this one is highly good stuff. Alrighty. So if you want to check out his YouTube, SOVEREIGNLIVING, Sovereign Living. Okay? And boy, does he stick to it too, y'all. Um, he kind of does a lot of like a Randy Kelton things. He follows criminal complaints on everybody. All right. And he is here in Texas and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Uh, Again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice. Okay, do your own research. But this is educational, and this is something you really want to know. I'm gonna do this for X amount of minutes. If you want the rest of more of these, the off this YouTube channel, I do these things at the last minute. I don't edit nothing, so what you see or what you hear is what you get. That's just the way I am, okay? All this is for my educational purposes, but I want to put it out there for me to keep on record, easy access, as long as UT doesn't take anything down. But why I'm using it for me, it kind of helps you guys think outside the box as well. And there's certain things that you may end up hearing that actually gives you a different mindset. And this is one of them. I'm led to believe and do believe once you hear this, it's going to go, oh my goodness. Okay? So, let's go ahead and proceed forward, all right?
Everybody, this is criminal complaint against Janet Yellen that I've been talking about. As you can see here, I filed it into I'm going to put this one on YouTube, but the rest of them I'm going to have on my exclusive channel because I'm concerned that YouTube's going to take this down because they're not going to like it. It's not going to be politically correct. Wah, wah, wah. They want me to sue. So this is a court case, okay? I'm in the federal court. This is actually a case I was filing criminal complaints like this against government officials into an older court case. And the judge took an interest and sent me an order of deficiency telling me that I needed to file a lawsuit and pay the filing fee. And so this is the case, and that I refiled as another case, and it's been going on. I mean, I still haven't paid the filing fee, and they're after me to pay the filing fee, and so they've actually closed the case, but I can get it reopened because I haven't paid the filing fee, and they keep telling me it's too long. And so I filed the sixth amended version. Anyways, I was thinking about setting a demand to reopen the case. We'll see. Anyways, but I always file them into, not always, I don't always file them into a case, but this is directly related to the bitch. And so this is setting her up for, I'm going to file a nasty gram after I do these criminal complaints, although I'm debating about whether I'm going to do similar criminal complaints against the judges too, the fake judges. Anyways, so this is a if you go down to it's a criminal complaint. This case is actually a war crimes complaint, okay? And so notice I have District Court of the United States. Okay, that's what it's supposed to be. United States District Court is the admiralty jurisdiction, and so that's why I call it District Court of the United States. And I put it down as we the people. Okay, I'm a demandant and a complainant. And then this is Lake Worth military pigs and Homeland Security pigs and there's a bunch of people. There's actually like about 2 pages of respondents in the case. Ken Paxton, Greg Abbott, everybody and their brother. It's like throwing mud against the wall. You never know what's going to stick. Anyways, so if I wasn't filing this into this case, then all of this stuff above here wouldn't be there. Okay, and it'd just start right here. And so that's really the only difference. It's everything else would be identical. Anyway, so this criminal complaint is violating rights and immunities under color of law. And in Texas, and every state is going to be a little bit different, okay? But in Texas, if you want to file a criminal complaint, then you have to do it in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, okay? See, what I want to do is make this as powerful as I can. I want to make it so some bureaucrat or some U.S. Marshals or somebody gets out their backside and goes out and starts asking questions about this. And so, I can leave that stuff out, but they might decide to round file it too, okay? And so I want to make it as powerful as I can. And so I'm putting in, it's all about the words, okay? It's all about the words. You have to use the words and their codes. And so it's all about the words. And if you don't put the right words in there, then they play stupid. Okay? I mean, that's just the normal way that they do things. And so if you want it to be powerful, you got to use the words. And so as a direct descendant of the founders of the Constitution and one of the posterity found in the preamble, by right of blood, I hereby declare. And I use, it's a declaration because that's common law. Janet Yellen is U.S. Secretary of the Treasury and deemed to know the law and is a ringleader in all the felonies described herein. And then I always put in some court cases. Ignorance of the law does not excuse anyone, least of all a sworn officer of the law, and an officer who violates and acts who acts in violation of the Constitution ceases to represent the government, and that's like very important. Janet Yellen knows that properly applying the facts is not discretionary. Properly applying the facts to the law is not discretionary. And misapplying the facts to the law in a matter is an abuse of discretion and official oppression. That's actually a Texas crime. Janet Yellen's not in Texas, so it's hard to say how much I'll be able to do about that. But the rest of the stuff is federal. Okay, all of the stuff in here I bring up is federal. And she is in D.C. That's federal, and so I am hoping that this actually has already been filed. I'm not sure if I sent it to the court or not. I know I've sent it to the FBI, and what I do is I send it out. I send it out to the special agent in charge of the local FBI. I also send it out to in Janet Yellen's case, I'll send it to the Provost Marshal General in Washington, D.C. And I think when I send it out there, I think they wind up, in the Attorney General's hands or something. I'm not sure. But he's in charge of the military occupation. And I don't say anything. I just put them in a flat rate box, and I send them to those addresses. They have no idea who else is getting this. And I don't really want them to know. I'd rather have Janet Yellen get hit with all these different bureaucrats from different agencies asking questions. You see what I'm saying? And so the more people that come investigate, the better. And it's amazing some of the stuff that happens when you do this stuff. I'm telling you, it's amazing. They'll never ever come and tell me anything about it. Okay, but it's amazing what happens. So I have reason to believe and do believe that Janet Yellen engaged in violating the demandant's rights and immunities, including but not limited to the demandant's right to a remedy under color of law in violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 242, violating rights under color of law. Because the demand is served on Janet Yellen, and Janet Yellen, Secretary of the Treasury, notice and demand, and I did a video about that already. Okay, so I served her with that, and that's in my video. And I think I attached a Word file. If someone else wants to do the same thing, there's a Word file in Google Docs. There's a link to it at the bottom of that video in the show notes. And so if someone else wants to do it, they can modify it to their situation and fire it off. Anyways, by registered mail with this kind of stuff, I always use registered mail. Now when I send these criminal complaints out, I just send them flat rate box, and I get tracking. That's all I get with that, and that's all I'm really interested in. And so then I know they got it, and I always send it to a man or a woman. In other words, I won't just send it to the special agent in charge. I'll find out who that is, and I'll get his name, and I'll send it to him. And because, if necessary, I'll file criminal complaints against him for failing to do something. See what I'm saying? I don't usually, but I might. You never know. I wanna hold someone accountable. Anyways, so this one's sent by registered mail. Registered mail, the advantage of that is it's kept under lock and key, and they can't say they didn't get it, or they can't say it was tampered with, or something like that. And under the code of law, under the statutes at large, the registered mail is presumed to have been delivered. And the proof of service shows that she received it on February 13, 2024. A true copy of which which is attached here to, all of which is incorporated herein by a reference in its entirety, in which the demands that Janet Yellen dissolve and liquidate the minor estate, and Yellen has failed to do so. And then Janet Yellen's required to know there's a minor estate, Treasury direct account, and this goes to Title 31 of the Code of Federal Regulations, and talks about the term minor is also used to refer to an individual who has attained the age of 18 years old but has not yet taken control of the securities contained in his or her minor account. And then an entity is the estate of a living person, or such as an incompetent or a minor. And so what they're doing is they're violating your rights under the color of law. That's Code of Federal Regulations. Federal regulations are not law; they're color of law. Okay, and so this is by definition color of law, violating rights under the color of law. That was created by fraud and deception in violation of the Code of Law for the District of Columbia, Title 18, Section 1001. Now, if I had to do this again, I would have said that up here, okay? Code of Law for the District of Columbia, because it's all Code of Law for the District of Columbia, okay? They just changed it to United States Code, but it's really Code of Law for the District of Columbia. Anyways, so Section 1001, okay, which is talking about fraud and deception. Except as otherwise provided in this section, whoever in any matter within the jurisdiction of the executive, legislative, or the judicial branch of the government knowingly or willingly falsifies, conceals, cover up any trick, scheme, artifice, device, a material fact, makes any materially false, fictitious, fraudulent statement or representation, makes or uses any false writing or document, knowing the same to contain any materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or entry. And so they created a debt instrument, okay? And so that's what a security is, okay? And so they're saying there's a security. They're saying, if you think about it, in Title 31 of the Code of Federal Regulations, they're saying that there's some securities that were created at your birth that are deposited into a Treasury direct account, okay? So there's no disclosure anywhere of any securities being created. A security is a badge of slavery. It's a debt instrument, and so it's slavery. Okay, you have to understand that. And so Janet Yellen's required to note there's no disclosure that securities were being created when the demand was born, and there was no disclosure that the demand was being sold into slavery for a debt that's found in their Code of Law for the District of Columbia. Title 15, U.S. Code, Section 77B, definitions, promotions of efficiency, competition, and capital formation. The term security means evidence of indebtedness. Okay, so it's a debt. And anybody that's in debt is a slave. So it's involuntary servitude. Janet Yellen is required to know that all regulations are for property of the United States, And this is Article 4, Section 3, Clause 2. Okay, so Congress shall have power to dispose of and make all needful rules and regulations respecting the territory or the property belonging to the United States. Regulations are for property of the United States, okay? So that security belongs to the United States. And the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 31, Section 363, is evidence that securities were created by fraud and deception when the demandant was born, which means the demandant was born into slavery because a slave is property. And Janet Yellen's required to know that the fraudulent securities are deposited into the Treasury direct account, and that account exists to this day. And they lie and cheat and steal and engage in fraud and deception when they criminally convert your name into this all block capital letters, in my case, which originated with the Roman cult as a use, which is a sort of a usufruct, which is short for usufruct. And this is Tomlin's Law Dictionary, Volume 2. Yet still it was found difficult to set bounds to ecclesiastical ingenuity, for when they were driven all of their former holds. See, ecclesiastical, that's the Roman cult, folks. Well, they devised a new method of conveyance by which lands were granted not to themselves directly, but to nominal fiat fees to the use of the religious houses. That's thus distinguishing between the possession and the use, okay? Usufruct, Roman law. And the receiving of the actual profits, while the season of the land remained in the nominal fiat fees, who was held by the courts of equity, when then under the direction of the clergy. That's the Roman cult, folks, and isn't that convenient, eh? The courts of the Roman cult gets to divide and decide whether there's a crime or not, okay? That's, wow, what a scam they have going on, eh? All these courts are Roman cult courts, and they get to decide whether there's a crime going on or not. This is just a major scam for these scumbags. Anyways, to be bound in conscience to account to assess the use for the rents and emoluments of the estate. That's taxes, folks. Boy, what a scam. They get to decide that you get to pay them for the taxes. They assault you with their Roman cult usufruct, and then they get to extort money from you. What a scam these scumbags are involved in. And it is to these inventions that our practitioners are indebted for the introduction of uses and trusts as the foundation of modern conveyancing. And that's Tomlin's Law Dictionary, Volume 2, 1835 edition, under the definition of mort main. And it's also found in the Code of Law for the District of Columbia. And that's Chapter 854.
All right, we're going to go ahead and pause it there. What did I say? Now, I've been in and out of YouTube and all that. He is highly knowledgeable, so you need to check out his YouTube and go through there. I mean, he's got like 2 hours of a video of judicial jurisdiction challenge, and it has the case laws in there that challenge their deal, saying, "Hey, I don't challenge jurisdiction." Well, I got jurisdiction. That section. You must tell me. You must tell me. You must tell me. How do you have jurisdiction? Everybody just led to believe that judges can just go in there and say, "Well, just because I say I have jurisdiction." It don't work that way. And we've been lied to by the attorneys, by the way, because I do have firsthand knowledge of attorneys lying about it. Well, no, they have jurisdiction because they say they have jurisdiction. Oh, you're a sovereign citizen. Fucking crap. All right. Anyway, sorry about my language. Okay. Anyway, I'll make another video of this, and so write some of these codes down, people. Listen to what he's saying. Verify, check. Don't take anything. This is all hearsay. But he's calling out these codes that you can read and verify everything. And look how much of it he's putting in there. You got loads of information just in this video. Sit and think about it. Loads of information. And I'm probably going to do some more. It's probably going to be a 3 or 4 video thing. Okay, let's see. It's an hour and 16 minutes long. Okay. Went through 15 minutes of it. Of course, I yapped for about 10 minutes, I guess, or 5 minutes. All right. So this is Diesel We the People News. If you want to check this out without my interruption, go to his channel. LOL. All right. And shout out to all the new subscribers as willing to take a chance to think outside the box. So shout out to y'all. Okay. Appreciate you guys coming in. But again, I'm just giving full notice that it's for my purposes of learning. I'm making a copy of this video. It's on my YouTube now. Why? Because I can get in there and write some of these codes down, research these codes he's bringing up, and when the time comes, I may need to use these codes. Okay? But here and now, it's just for my educational purposes. I'm sharing out there to y'all. I'm not making anything off this. However, I would like you guys to donate so I could go meet up with James Freeman in New Mexico. But I digress. Till next time, y'all. Diesel People News. Till next time. Bye, y'all.